Hi, this is Lorelei with Radiate Life with Lorelei, and there's my energy mantra mandala, and there's my picture of my energy mandala, and I'm a student. First of all, I'm a teacher and I'm a mentor. I'm a spiritual teacher and a spiritual healer, and I'm here with your signs and symbols. So what are your signs and symbols? This is number 2. So my sign and symbol, this one comes from the Sedona Deck by Kathleen Gabriel. This is given to me by a really wonderful spiritual sister, and she's gone on into spirit, and it's always beautiful to have those beautiful magical times with her and when she connects with me from spirit. And so this deck called out to me today, and that's the card from it. So my sign and symbol from the Sedona Deck, this is a really beautiful deck, and I got it many years ago, and I love to tell the story because this deck was a regift, right? She got it, and it has this really beautiful vortex in the back, and it came with healing clay and a book that goes with it. But I just like to look at it and to tune into Sedona. As in video 1, I have a huge connection now with Sedona, which it was reluctant. I was reluctant to do that. So, but I did not persist in resisting, and I came and I loved it. So this picture is the Mesa airport, and when you have I like decks of cards, but one thing I really love about it is really realizing that yes, this is taken as inspiration. This is what somebody related to, or it could have been passed on as a symbol through a culture or through any kind of thing. But when you're connecting with yourself and your inner guidance system, when you're connecting with your loved ones in spirit, and when you're connecting with your mentors, in addition to having the universal ones, it's fun and it's amazing to create your own. So here's the airport, and I'm going to tell you that this one just says it's masculine energy. And the very first time I went to Sedona, my divine timing number 1 clip was that I met my aunt who lived in California, and I lived in Chicago at the time. She lived close to LA, which is where I grew up, and I lived in Chicago, and we hadn't talked to each other in a really long time, and all of a sudden her and I ended up divine timing in Sedona at the same time, and so we had a really wonderful trip. While we were there, it was the first time for I think for both of us, but I know for sure for me, and we had a really beautiful book that was put together of all the energy places to visit, all the energy vortexes, kind of the sites to see. So we took the book with the map and we went to every site, and one of the sites that we went to was the airport site, and to feel the energy and to meditate in the energy. And this was all like really new to me. Like, I'd been meditating for a long time, but I'd never really allowed myself to go out and to feel what I could feel and have my senses alive, and it was really exciting. And being there with my aunt, it was just an amazing time, and her anchoring that energy into she was very much like me. I'm going to show you a picture because if you didn't see it in the other one, this is me and my beautiful aunt. Okay, so we were at the airport, and it was as if somebody whispered something to me, and it was more of a feeling than it was words, but the picture, the meaning was really clear, and it said, "Do not fly." Now, this is Sedona airport. It's a small airport, small planes. And I thought, well, that's really unusual. And I'll tell you this, what comes to me now is that my aunt and I have this other connection. My Uncle Bill was and still is a pilot, and he took me up in a very small airplane when I was little. It was a glider plane where you actually go up. It has no engine, and another plane takes you up, and you're back by a tow rope, and then they let you go, and then you glide down, right? So we were familiar with these kinds of airports. I grew up by Ontario Airport, Cable Airport in Southern California. Comfortable, very comfortable, taken off many times. So here we were standing there, and I have this message, "Don't fly here." And I was like, just all very internal, and I was kind of asking a question. I'm like, okay, I'm kind of confused. Does that mean nobody should fly here, or just me? Is this a personal message for me? Should I just not fly here? And it was just very strong, don't fly. So I'm like, okay, well, I don't see any reason why I'd want to take a helicopter ride or anything from here. That's good enough for me. And sometimes verification sometimes you don't want things verified, right? And some things you do, but it's not like you have any influence, or I haven't influenced this situation, because then what did happen is the next day there was a crash at the airport. And I'm telling you the story because it was like shocking to me how accurate that was. And in that moment, the only thing that we could do, and it is exactly what we did do, is to say prayers. And if that there was going to be some way that we could make that safe, or now be aware of it, that we did, and we would, and then we went on to the next site for the day. So for me, when this card comes up, this is a stop, no-go card for me, because on that day, that message to me was very clear. And why is it a personal message? Because on that day, I received a message. I received it in without question, in a way, right? I received it enough in and saying, this could be accurate, this could not be accurate. But I knew what it felt like. I knew where I was in my consciousness that day. And so when that comes up, it's a very clear symbol for me. So I encourage you to go in and consciously create connections like that for yourself. That you also, I love to do this, is that when my loved ones, and I have a lot of beautiful spiritual friends and spiritual sisters in spirit that went on before us, and of course now we see everything that's gone on in the world, but they've left in the last 5 to 7 years, and many of them are experiencing what's going on now in the inner planes and sending the energy to us. And so the great light that comes, and the healing energy, I'm very grateful and humbled to be here on the earth plane at this time, and I'm grateful for all the spiritual teachers and mentors who help me be here in this time in this way, and that me to lead and do what it is that I'm meant to do, and encourage you to lead and do what you're meant to do. And I hope these signs and symbols give you some kind of encouragement to connect with your inner guidance, connect with your mentors, connect with your beautiful helpers, to connect with the beautiful people who maybe are in spirit now, who have gone on, and to establish that beautiful connection. Again, so this is the create your own connection.